What is up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing the third part of this whole series. Essentially, we're going to be doing the third part of this whole series, in which the first part we did how to write or how to come up with some sort of storylines for universe mode. The second part was how to film universe mode, which is segments and the match itself. And today we are in my actual editing software. We are here in Power Director, in which I'm really excited. But before we get started, make sure you go down below, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, as we're gonna go beat by beat. Okay, so starting out, I made sure I got all my clips down. Starting out, you drag it into 0, 0. Right? Okay, so this is the start of the show. What we want to do is usually I like to what I do first is I crop it out instantly, so I don't have to worry about it for later on. Sometimes you'll end up seeing little things at the bottom like you did see, but it's as simple as trying to fix it. It's just as simple as going in and fixing it up. And now, my editing is not going to be as crisp or anything, just because I'm going in and I'm doing it without the audio. I'm doing it without the audio strictly because, actually, hold on. Yeah, I'm doing it without the audio. Just because everything ends up working out. Okay, sorry. Here, I'll turn this audio on for you guys. But either way, for me, I'm doing it without the audio, so my microphone and all that ends up, working out good. This is actually the clip that I used for the last Raw that we did. So, with this, it seems to work quite well. But what I need to do is I need to get this to right before pyro starts going off. Bow. Take this, make sure you click it, and essentially with editing, it's all about preference. It always has been with everything in general. But what I like doing, if you end up using this exact one, it'll be really easy for you. But how I do it, it's the editing softwares in general. What I found is they're all roughly the same. You just have to find one that works best for you. For a long time, I did it through my phone. And it just works out in a way. But what I ended up doing was I downloaded some pyro off of YouTube. You can find a bunch of different videos on it, and then what you want to essentially remove the background. I like doing a black screen just because I feel like it gets rid of everything the most. And I go to color range and denoise all the way up. So then you'll see, okay, now all the black parts out of there. And then when we're going in, now I want to try to, because if you're thinking about it like it's a WWE event, right? You want everything to kind of look like it's actually happening. So what I like doing is I try to line it up to where everything works out. But with that, now you see, I'll shrink that down, trying to fit that on stage a bit more. And then, yeah, that looks a bit better. And now what I also like doing, because for a long time they had these real obscure pyro sets where they'll just have everything go on. And then, okay. So I'm just essentially waiting for this. Go back a bit. This is all pyro stuff. All pyro stuff. And once you get the hang of it, it becomes like second nature. Like right now, I'm able to sit here and I'm able to talk a bit. Get the pen, click. So as you can see, without doing the color range, it doesn't really get a lot. But doing that, and it's helping with the denoise a bit. The denoise, hasn't been a real issue. I'm assuming it just makes it look a bit better, or makes it look a bit better, look at. In fact, I actually want this one as one of the ones on the back side of it, only because I feel like, the colors will pop out a lot more if it's on the back side. And then, pow. Okay, so yeah, there you go. You guys can see that there. And sometimes it doesn't want to keep going on, which is fine. Also, I'm not too sure on how much this is actually, how the audio is, because normally I have the audio up and all that, and I like doing a couple layers, at bare minimum, a couple layers. Only, like I said, that's more of a preference thing. Getting that done, and then you edit, make sure you get the chroma key or background remover. Background remover for this doesn't work as well, I found out, so if you're doing it like how I'm doing it, make sure, you know, you do the chroma key. Denoise, hold on. You guys might actually be able to tell a difference. Okay, so denoise, it just gets rid of all the extra bits, in a way. Okay. And also, I found out a problem can end up being that the top bit, there's a top part. So sometimes, you know, for this case, it's not a big deal. Only because you could just kind of resize it to your own liking. Which, like I said, I want the colors to be up front. So let me move that. Okay, so also for layering, it goes from every layer, you're just adding a new layer to it. So 4 will be number 1, will be like what you see the most. So that's why I'm having that go first. And then, okay, boom. Here's all the pyro, whatever. And then, you know, you could send in some crowd audio if need be. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys. Also, let's do that. Just cut that off. Just to show you guys a little bit of how I do it. Also, I like having a transition on standby for whenever I need, and it's an easy transition. It'll just boom right there. You can find quite a bit of people who actually go in and do this, who goes in and uploads these kinds of transitions to YouTube. I also, we got some stuff, we got some clips for the promo to show you guys how I edit my promo. Okay, so it goes to the intro. This does not make real canonical sense, but in the sense of this, we're going from the opening pyro, and then we'll show like the intro beforehand or whatever, transitions over to our promo. In which, like I said, from filming, you guys can kind of understand a bit more. And what I like doing is sometimes editing softwares has this thing where you can go frame by frame, which I like trying to get as much as I can, because if in doing so, it makes it look a bit cleaner. And, you know, I don't have to copy a specific clip, because usually, here, I'm going to zoom in a bit more just to help purposes. Actually, that was not good because I have some other clips afterwards. But if I were to cut it up and then do it, I think it would work a bit better. But yeah, either way, neither here or there. Okay, so there we go. This will go on for 34 seconds. And then you can kind of just click around, you know, figure everything out. Okay. Luckily, 2K has this massive bar when the clips end, so it really helps out. Like, snip, use a cutting tool, split the selected clip in half or whatever, wherever you need. And then we'll see here, where I'll zoom in, mess with everything. Luckily, as you can see, I forgot to do the outfit mask, but Cone's not even in the shot, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, I was able to line up Roman good enough that his head wouldn't be getting cut off. So the more you do it, the practice makes perfect, essentially, with this whole thing. Yeah, just have fun with it. This is more also a thing of just how I do it, in a way. Like, how I create universe mode is going to be different from how Superkick Theory creates universe mode, or Goran Perkins, and it's just, there's just a lot of different ways to do a universe mode. You could go in, you could play it, whatever. But with these, I feel like it helps give you guys some sort of idea on how or the different ways you can make a universe mode. And there's not many more ways on how, or like, there's not many more videos of people explaining how they do it. But how I do it is I will do this. I'll cut everything up and it immediately transitions into them doing that. Then what you can do is I have this crowd audio that I actually filmed for a different thing. Or how I filmed. I just had 2 people in the match just to get the typical 2K crowd audio. And now when it comes to figuring out the audio purposes in general, it's kind of going to be annoying. But when you guys are also in here, hold on. When you guys are in here doing it yourself, you play it by ear. I like doing that, and I'll fade it in as well to help with the transition. So now, hopefully you guys can hear it. And that's the only thing with the highlighted reels is they don't pick up audio, in which I'll show you guys how to mess with that in a bit. But yeah, so it's essentially it'll go from 1, and then you can cut it up at any point. So let's say, in which, hold on, okay, so record. You can record from the PC screen. You can record from anywhere. For audio purposes, like for if you want to have the text, some editing software is better than others. For this, you know, you can edit. I haven't actually had to deal with these, so that's more of a Superkick Theory thing. You guys can go ask him how he does the text. But what I do is I'll actually use my phone to record right now because I don't have a good headset. I'll record it just like how I'm recording it right now. And I'll just do the voices. I'll be like, I'm the head of the table. You know, just Roman Reigns. Let's say he says, I'm the head of the table. Bow. AJ Styles. Bit of a stare down, whatever. You can cut it. I like taking the clip and I like moving it later on. And then AJ Styles. AJ will say something in return. You move it over. Move this in. Roman Reigns then says something in return. You kind of just mess with that, you know, figure out what you guys want. And then at the end, we have one massive stare down. One massive stare down. There we go. And like I said, this is a real condensed version of editing. Like sometimes editing, depending on how difficult you want it to be on yourself, depending on how difficult you want it to be on yourself, then, you know, it's just, you play it by ear. But we're going to see how our segment looks real quick. AJ says something, you know, now AJ says something, I mean, Roman Reigns responds, you know, just play with the timing. Make sure, if you do text, make sure you read it as, you know, a little slower than how you normally read it. Because keep in mind, when you're doing text, I did text for a little bit during when I was a pick fedder. When you do text, make sure, or if you do text, make sure you type everything in and you read it. You just sit there and read it. So like if Roman Reigns was saying something, he's saying, I'm the tribal chief, I'm the head of the table. You're the one typing this. So it's already, with you typing all of it down, it's going to be ingrained in your mind what to say next. While people are seeing this for the first time. Some people are slower readers. You don't want to make it too long, but you don't want to make it too short to where people can't read it. So yeah, just essentially take your time, play, don't read, and then start reading after like a second, because it takes people a quick second to think about what they have to read. And then, you know, read it around slowly. Yeah, read it slowly, and then at the end of the day, everything should be A-okay. Yeah. Okay, I already imported all my clips, just making sure. And then the transition, after that, it'll send it to another transition, and then what we'll end up doing is we actually have this to go after. Okay, so I added this. Boom. And this is midway through a match, you know. Don't worry about it too much. I'm just showing you guys how to quickly edit some things, because if I were to take you guys a full step-by-step, it would take forever. It would take a couple hours if to go through every little detail. So just before you make a universe mode, play around with some things. Also, you're going to get better as time goes on. So, yeah, don't expect too much out of yourself right now. Boom. And especially with these, at least how I do it, is I wait until bow. I could split. And then what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this base over it. I'm going to use this base over it. It'll send to the highlight reel. I'll get my clip, what I want, and the exact thing, just like what I showed you guys in the last part. And if you don't cut out the ends, what we do, if you don't end up cutting out the end, then it works out fine. Okay, so now we're essentially just going to see double of it, right? Cover, hooks leg, 1, 2, AJ kicks out. And then what we want to get just the frame right before the bar so that audio-wise, it's easy. And then what you do is you can drag it and you can line it up directly with it. And like I said, this is a full-blown match, so like everything's going to be a little, like this little split second, typically we won't have to deal with it too much. I'm just going to trim it just to make sure that, you know. But and when you're in a normal match, you know, you won't end up having to do with that unless you're having two overlays back to back. But boom, right here, and you'll still be able to get the audio, but you'll be able to get any camera angle you actually want. So it's very useful. It's very useful for that. Roman sets him up, boom, cover, hooks leg, 1, 2, and he kicks out. And since we lined it up with directly how everything ended, everything ends up working out just fine. So, with all that, like I said, this is legit just quick thinking, you know, trying to help you guys and, you know, guide you guys a little bit. I wish I would be able to go a bit more in depth, but I'm being serious. This is already a 17-minute video. With even more, it would take me about an hour. Honestly, it would take me about an hour. So essentially, just kind of mess around with it also. So I don't have to edit this in later. Full screen it. This is my typical settings for it. Because I like doing my own commentary, I turn the commentary off. Music, if you deal with copyright issues and all that, I found out that like 50 for the music, about half the audio for the music. I turned ring announcer off. I might end up turning it back on for, you know, big matches and pay-per-views and all that. But yeah, like I said, with every single part of this series, this is all preference. This is your universe mode. This is what you want. This is what you started out this universe mode. I'm just here to help you guide in some sort of the right direction. Show you guys how I do it so you guys can get a little bit more of an insight into it. But yeah, that's my settings for my audio. You guys can mess with it. Sometimes I turn creator safe mode strictly for GM purposes and all that. It can be a big ordeal, but either way, thank you all for watching. If you have any questions for this, go down below. Let me know. And if you guys, this is the end of the 3-part series. If you guys want some side parts, I know Superkick Theory did a video where he showed how he makes his own attires and stuff. He's a big attire maker. He makes a lot of attires. I make a lot of logos. I like making logos and like full-blown custom attires. So if you guys want any of that, let me know. Comment that down below. If you guys also have any more questions about specifics, let me know. I will comment down below. But I figured this will also help in the sense of you guys, because I get these questions all the time on how do you write, how do you film, how do you edit these all together. And I use the AI voices. I use 11 Labs. I use the pay version. You just screen record a minute of clear audio. Try getting that down as much as you can. You know, use it as voice clone, and then you can either do speech to speech or text to speech and mess around with all that. And that's the bare bones of it all. But like I said, thank you all for watching. Make sure you go down below. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Have a good day. Have a good night. Whatever the time is for you. And goodbye.